Hey everybody, and sorry about that. We're back here with Temps and Governance, episode 191. As I was saying, our most put together episode ever. We're going to start with the State of the Treasury, which is really interesting this week because last week I wasn't able to put it together. So everything I'm going to tell you about this week is the State of the Treasury since 2 weeks ago. Keep in mind, we have the new income strategy when we changed the inflation numbers and dedicated, what was it, 10% to the Treasury or 2%? What was it? I can't remember anything. Anyway, a significant amount of more income to the Treasury. So let's take a look at what this means. Since 2 weeks ago, DOT has increased in the Treasury 1.41 million DOT, which is worth $12.85 million at today's market value. That brings the DOT Treasury to 28.34 million. Crazy. As far as USDC goes, we're up 1.17 million USDC from this time 2 weeks ago. That brings that pile to 6.3 million, and we are down 380,000 USDT, bringing that pile to 9.42 million USDT. 9.42 million USDT. That's the state of the Treasury. And I'll now throw it over to Funky for the state of the Funk. Looking good, Funk.
Thanks so much, Jay. I hate to be the bearer of bad news on the heels of all this good news about the Treasury, but the state of the funk today is admittedly disappointed. So, as you know, Lucky Friday, our co-founders have been in the tech space for roughly 25 years. And this has been an issue that's been building up, but they just recently found out about the troubles with the Polkadot RPC infra bounty. Vendor payments were not being issued. The bounty itself ended up being closed.
What?
So, yes. And as we continue to position Polkadot as being open for enterprise business, I will just say that they were absolutely aghast that this would even happen, because if we want to lure serious business here, something as simple as vendor payments must be done with due diligence, must be done in a timely manner, and everything else. We really cannot have curator sets who aren't paying attention, who are letting these things fall to the wayside. It's incredibly important. Again, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but we need to shore these things up right now so we do not have this issue moving forward, because next year is going to be a huge year for us. We'll have a lot of opportunity to bring in some enterprise customers, show them the value of building on Polkadot with its cheap block space, high security, everything else that we know in the community and believe in. We really have to get this in order so this never happens again. Thanks so much, Jay.
Hold on. What the fuck happened? There's a bounty, the IBP bounty?
Not the IBP bounty. There's a separate Polkadot infra bounty that is run.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 5 or 6 different, and this is core infra provision services.
I'm gonna pull this up.
Is not running, then of course the security of the chain, the connectivity, everything is at stake. More so the connectivity than the security. That's the validators. But the point being that, in these simple kinds of things, like I said, we had our all hands yesterday, and our co-founders were just absolutely apoplectic over this. I mean, they said if this were a corporate world, those people would have lost their jobs.
Is this 31?
I don't remember the exact
bounty
number.
Proposal for public RBCs for relay and system chains. Yeah.
Yes. So Will Paradox has provided a new set of curators that have been suggested, and so that way hopefully we can get this back on track. But basically, we're already missing payments for previous months. You're not going to have info providers, especially ones who are running bare metal and absorbing all these costs on their own. Like we provided for Kusama for well over a year and never asked for payment beyond that initial $11,000.
Sure.
This is something that we really need to fix again, because to get the big boys to come play in the sandbox, we have to do our due diligence and treat these partners with respect and make sure that they're getting paid in a timely manner.
So who are the curators here in the end?
I mean, I'm sure Limo can speak to it. He was involved. Ben, I don't remember the others. And again, I know there's extenuating circumstances. People are juggling multiple things. I'm aware of that. I tried to share that information, of course, during our meeting. But again, at the end of the day, they just see this as business, plain and simple, and it's something that cannot be tolerated.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I can tell you exactly what happens. Myself and I think Ben, we got added as curators to that bounty under the pretense that the other curators would be more actively involved. They were not, and then it was basically just me and Ben. We extended the bounty on Kusama And then I believe during Sub-Zero is when all this happened, so it got missed. It's not really an excuse, but obviously either there needs to be like more technical people on that bounty, or that bounty should be absorbed by the IBP bounty, because this bounty was basically to provide systems parachains with RPCs, and the IBP bounty does a very similar thing. So to me, it makes sense to maybe merge the two. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the update. Thanks for bringing it up, Funk. You know, it's important that we talk about this stuff. Look at it straight on. Yeah, and sorry for everything that happened with Lucky Friday as well. Thank you, Funky. Limo, we'll throw it over to you for refs gone by.
Yeah, there's not many this week. There's only 5.
Yeah.
So the first one is by Brian B. Central on the Big Spin the Track, ref 1282. This was rejected, and it was for 2.66 million USDT for enhancing Polkadot's presence in Asia through strategic events, experiences, and localized community engagement. I'm guessing the size of this request probably made people vote nay on it. Again, it's good if people start off small in OpenGov and don't request $2.66 million straight away. Speaking of people that started small and are working their way up, Open Zeppelin, medium spin the track ref 1290. This was approved, and it was for 260,000 USDT for Open Zeppelin X Polkadot ecosystem growth phase 4, and this includes developing meta palettes, Tansy integration, ZombieNet SDK improvements, Snowbridge integration, and a bunch more, as well as like a bunch of docs for developers. So pretty good there, and congrats to the team. Then we have, I think somebody mentioned a football team at some point in the chat. This is Alex Heikel on the medium spinner track for F1288. This was rejected, and it was for 440,000 USDT for Argentinos Juniors Fantasy Opportunity, which seems to be a football club that works with young players in the region and helps grow their skills. And then we've got one that we've spoken about a bunch. This is by Lucy on the medium spin the track, ref 1287. This was approved, and it is for 640,000 USDT for funding the Polkadot Ambassador Fellowship. And to wrap us up, we've got Liu Chengzhu on the small spin the track, ref 1301. This was approved, and it is for 20,000 USDT for enhancing substrate fast sync for large chain states. And that were the few refs gone by this week.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right, we're going to get started right away today with an epic root track referendum. This is currently queuing. So maybe you know this, but maybe if you don't, we can only have one active ref on the root track at a time. It's a very coveted track. It has a lot of power. And so we limit ourselves to focusing on one at a time. This is behind a root ref that aims to duplicate proxy addresses for a few projects that don't have lost access to their funds. Some horrible Polkadot UX issue that is being changed in the future. But this is right behind it. This is the critical runtime upgrade to prevent further exploitation of the parallel network. And we actually have Yubo Ron from the team, the CEO of the team, I believe. Yubo, it's been a long while since we've had you on the Kusamarian stage, but welcome back. And what did you want to share with us today?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. All right, I heard I have 8 minutes, so I'm just gonna run it pretty fast. So we put together a proposal to essentially retain the pseudo palettes to our team, and then we'll be able to process user requests and then refund a lot of users that are impacted. So it's pretty straightforward from the technical perspective. Before that little background, we have tried, to fix the problem ourselves, but we discovered that it's just not able. We're not able to solve that by, submit console proposals or through technical committee. So we have to upgrade, our parachain, which is why we need help through the Polkadot governance system. Okay, so. Generally, we have put the link here, which you can check for the GitHub difference. But on a high level, first of all, we add a pseudo palette to this runtime upgrade. Otherwise, if we don't do that, otherwise the chain can't be changed through any other governance model, which is disabled by the attacker. And then the second thing we have done is to introduce a dummy palette, which first of all set the pseudo key value to a key that we control, first of all. And then, we check every single block on the initiation to make sure that it is set to that key, or otherwise we'll just rewrite it right away. Another thing we have done is to make sure we have some minimum balance to send transactions, and we set that to be 10,000 para, because we worried that if the attacker were to sort of change our our balances during the decision period, and we will have no balance to vote or no balance to do any transaction, that will be bad. So then we have add that free balance to make sure we have the minimum. And then beyond that, so every time any system imbalance in that account will be checked. So if it's not, then the code will reset to the minimum required amount, which is 10,000. And then number 3 is obviously pretty straightforward, which is to set the spec version to be the same to avoid additional runtime upgrade. Right? And then there are 2 more smaller things. So one of them is removal of the the migration scripts, and then the other one is the Docker image stuff. After we have done all this code, and we definitely have done a lot of the the testing. First of all, in our local environments. Then we move to the Heiko network on the mainnet to test that, and then it works pretty well. And then obviously we also check on the chopsticks. There are some issues, but the parity team have helped a lot. So thank you so much. And after we have done all the tests, we raised the proposal, obviously. So after the proposal, if we can pass, then the first thing we have to do is we have to remove the proxy account that the attacker has set it up on the relay chain. That's the first step. And then the second step is that if the attacker were to add any access in the middle, then we have to remove that. And then number 3 is that we still have to monitor the any suspicious activities in the democracy palette, make sure that similar attack won't happen. And then if we solve all of those problems, then we can process users' requests. Because right now the biggest issue is that there are as we categorize, there are 4 kind of user issues that they can't process their funds. And the first big one is the the XCM withdrawal. The dots, when user try to withdraw their dot will be the transaction will fail, and then their dot will be burned without getting actually the dot in the relay chain. And then the issue was also caused by this incident. So what we're gonna do is that we want to mint those dot back to the user after we have the the proposal, to make sure those users will be reimbursed afterwards. And we have a pretty long CRM and Excel system to track all of them. We have already tracked all of them and built a script literally to test whether they have failed that transaction is valid. The second issue is some of the users can't withdraw their staked dots, and it was burned, but then they don't get the dots. Exactly the same issue, just because the staking ledger of our sovereign account was empty, so they can't withdraw, unfortunately. So then we definitely really apologize for that issue. So it's pretty straightforward. Is after we pass this 1339 referenda, then we have to remint those burned S dots, so the users can unstake again, and then they can receive their dot in 28 days, hopefully. And then, yeah, that's kind of bad, but really apologize for that issue. And then another issue is some users reported that they have missing balance. They're missing dots when they're missing S dots. That issue was caused during the closure of our money markets. Some position was accidentally burned. So what we're gonna do is we mint all of them back. That's the pretty simple solutions. And also we need that access to do so. And then we also have some other issues. For example, like the AMM, the swap errors, the money market redemption issues, and some of the ledger issues. We kind of have to those are the issues that are not on our highest priority. So we want to solve the previous one first, and then we move to resolve those issues. So maybe wait a little bit. I don't think it's a pretty big issues, but we are on track to solve them. And then the overall idea here is that we want to make sure that this, we can take all the responsibilities of this incident and make sure that the users, especially on our platform who are impacted, can be compensated. And then we will be able to prioritize our platform security, fund recovery, and of course, supporting all the affected users. So then eventually we can rebuild the system. And I know this is kind of a really headache time, and a lot of people are extremely worried, but we want to make sure that this is like a time where we can stand together and then solve this problem. Yeah, hopefully I explain our proposal and then our plan after the proposal.
All right. Thanks very much. Funky, we may go a little bit extended here just because this is a root ref and it affects so many people. Let's hear from Tommy first. Yes, please.
Hey, thank you for coming and presenting. I think when people want to make a decision about how to vote for this, they want to understand who is going to get the pseudo control over the chain. So can you explain a little bit who would be the controllers of the account that is getting pseudo? Is it a company? Is it a private person?
Yeah, it's our company, and then I share that key. And then also our technical team member Ryan, and then we're gonna just work on it together. Yeah.
And where does this company reside?
We have entities in the US. We have and then we have used to have a sub entity in other countries, but then we closed them down. Yeah. And then we all work remotely right now.
Right. And how many people do have access to that pseudo key?
Right now, just myself and then Ryan, but we probably just gonna keep within us right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So Yubo, you went on and you kind of explained some of the recovery plan beyond the scope of this ref, right? But the scope of this ref is basically to add pseudo key back to Parallel, give pseudo key to you, and add a bit of para tokens to that account, right? Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's open up. Yeah, Limo. Oh.
Hey, so I just shared a link in the chat. Somebody sent me this that doesn't want to be named. So basically, at the top where it says number 1, you can see the hacker's account, right? It's labeled in Subscanner's hacker parallel report. That account sends transactions to this 15JHY account, which then sends DOT to a Binance user wallet. But then in the referendum, 1326, the one by the attacker people, it lists this account in the bottom right, 16Q5, as being Parallel Finance 6. And that account also sends DOT to the same Binance user wallet. So this person was asking why is from the attacker's side and from the Parallel side sending to the same Binance user wallet.
Actually, that's a really good question. It's the first time I'm seeing this. I think probably that's because Binance has hot wallets and then also have maybe some transfer system where all the money will eventually send into one place to credit the users. But I believe that might be different users. We actually checked the hackers' information after this incident happens, and then I asked the team. They said it was not by a actual person, but by a payment service called CoinPayMaster. So that's when we check the information, that's what they tell us, and then we go to ask them about the KYC information. But we obviously need help from the law enforcement agencies. But for that, I actually don't know why it's going to the same account. It's super weird, actually. Maybe because this is how Binance designed, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent a link to the Subscan in the chat. Again, this person just was looking at Subscan and just saw this. They don't know why, right?
Yeah.
But it'd be cool if you guys could just check it out and let us know.
Maybe we can also check how many other funds will go to this 1345 address, or this is only those 2 addresses will send funds to that address. Maybe I can check it out as well.
Right. It's the question if Binance shares hot wallets among multiple people or creates a new one. I would think. I would think that they would create a new one for each account, wouldn't they?
They should actually. Let me actually check it 1345 and see any other transactions will send it through inside.
Okay. Meantime, Robert has a question.
Yeah, it was just about the ownership of those accounts. So, like in that graphic that Limo shared below, the one on the bottom right, is that
Mhm.
one you personally control, or is that your address on Binance? That would already answer the question in my mind.
Yeah, that was our treasury accounts. That was our treasury accounts. Like our team has that, and obviously I have access to it as well.
Okay, but then
Yeah,
I guess that is
I need to add a little bit informations. We have closed down the crowd loan products, and then we notify the community. We already burned all the CDAO users and moved the funds to our treasury accounts. Our original intention is to build a DAO that essentially will be able to benefit the ecosystem when we relaunch our token. As you know, previous token was kind of dead, unfortunately, but we want to have a newer ecosystem, and then all the holders will get new airdrop, and then the DAO can benefit the ecosystem success. And we also process those swap and refund even until today. And then our original plan was to partially close down each of the products, so like crowd loans and money markets, swap, and eventually most of them, because like we kind of have we have limited resources and we have to focus on a few things because we're taking a lot of risk of managing so much money. But yeah, anyways.
Okay, Richard.
I don't know if it explains it, but my experience of Binance, it was offline when we were trying to transfer some USDT from Asset Hub to Binance because they had to refill their account. So I don't know if they have one account on Asset Hub that they send all of the transfers to. So it just might explain it, that's all.
So Yubo, you're talking a little bit about future plans for the project.
Mm.
And you reference community a lot and whatnot. However, my question is, are these plans new? As in, have you decided to move forward with the project only since this hack happened? Because for several months on this show, we've been warning people that it kind of seems like Parallel was abandoned.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
RPC services were
yeah.
being neglected, and it kind of just seemed like you guys had walked away. But now you're talking like there are plans for the future. So what's the story there?
Yeah, so our company was underfunded during that period of time, and I had a very hard time to raise capital from the outside. So I went to find a Singapore-based investment funds. I wouldn't name the name. So they would essentially provide us with all the operation help with new support on the community, on the operations, on even launching our token and market making and all that. So our team can just focus on essentially building a good products in something new. They want to have a new narrative and then help us to essentially like work on something new. And while we are kind of talking through this proposal with that firm, this whole incident happens. And I did thought about like abandoning the project, to be honest, for some period of time, because I just think that is kind of hard. We missed the previous token launch opportunity, and then our Ethereum product wasn't that that smooth, to be honest. But afterwards, I thought that we have raised a lot of capital. We have a lot of users on the platform. Like we just can't like just walk away directly. But like at least we have to build something, right? And then make sure we have a good token launch as well, because a lot of people like actually buy our tokens. So and then the market has been getting better. That give us more confidence that we should actually take this opportunity. Like this is like maybe in the middle of a bull run or whatever people think. Take that opportunity to do something. So yeah, and also, by the way, in the middle, I have involved with another DeFi projects, and just helping out a little bit. But eventually, we thought that we still want to take care of the Parallel, which is we have been spending a lot of time and energy to build a platform, and we burn a lot of money on that too. So like,
yeah, no, it was a promising platform. I remember using it when it first launched. It was one of the smoothest DeFi at the time. But anyways,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I think we'll leave it there because we just did double time. But thank you for coming on, and
yeah, welcome.
you know, it's nice to see you stand up here and let us know what's going on. I think everybody appreciates that. So thank you for coming
Yeah,
by.
of course, yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. All right, guys, let's move on here. We have oh yeah, Richard, you wanted to talk about, but where's your friend? Oh, Matt Chez is here too. We're gonna talk about the creation of the AssetDIDcomm system with AssetDID credential verification again. This is 150.61 thousand USDT. What do we got here? About a week left? No, a week and a half left, and 25% in favor. Richard, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jay. Sorry.
Mhm.
I was hoping that Antonio from Kilt would join us, but he's got COVID, so I'm hoping he's going to be better by the end of next week to take it to the line. But yeah, what I wanted to do is just cover off a couple of things myself. One main thing, and then I was going to pass over to Matt from Apollon. So some feedback that we got was about the value proposition for dot holders not being clear enough. So I wanted to address that by saying, you know, we've got this perceived value with obviously speculation that's susceptible to the cycles. But if we want, as a community, actual value, we've got this technological advantage to other ecosystems. And what we're doing with the AssetDIDcomm system, I think it will be a great tool to encourage other RWA projects to build on Polkadot, because it actually creates more investor confidence, because it creates more transparency. There's more verifiability with regards to sort of linking DIDs, the asset, and communication around that asset over its life cycle. So I think that's, for me, if we want to build tools that add value and attracts new developers in an industry or a sector that maybe, you know, we've not as strong as we could be, that could set us apart from other ecosystems. I think that's for me the best kind of value add. I mean, yes, we as a individual project, we're going to bring a lot of value, but that's not dependent on AssetDIDcomm. We're going to bring that value anyway. But I think if we can build tooling that other people in the ecosystem can use, but more importantly, attract other builders in the RWA space, I think that would be a really great value add. And it's, you know, if you look at the potential ROI, I think it's a clear-cut case. If we just attract a few million TVL, it's a done deal. So, you know, that's my case for the moment. I'll pass over to Matt, and then he can give his 2 pence.
Yeah, hi everyone. So after I hope you can hear me. There's a lot of background noise, but my daughter's having a birthday right now. So after the recent AAG, when we saw the proposal of what Excavate is trying to build here together with Kilt, we reached out to say, look, on the storage part, we already got you covered because it's already been built from the Apollon perspective. We can help out here. But additionally, when we initially wanted to build the Salesforce integration, one thing that we were seeking was to have some kind of secured storage with encryption and basic authentication behind that. So when I saw this, I said, look, happy to give my public support on this as well. Specifically when it comes to the part that obviously this proposal right now has a specific use case for the Excavate. But I think beyond that, when we talk about content management systems, when we talk about enterprises want to store secure data, there's definitely a use case for this. So even though it might in the short term not look like there's a added benefit for the ecosystem, in the long term, I think having something like this on the shelf when we go into corporations and so on, it's a very good low-hanging fruit that we can initially or directly integrate or offer to clients. So just my 2 cents, it's in support of that proposal.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions?
Sure, Richard, I'll jump in. So the thing that you guys are building now, will this automatically, like, because I'm assuming it's going to be based on some kind of pallet infrastructure, will this already work with existing parachains, for instance, that deal with RWAs, for example, Centrifuge?
Absolutely, yeah. It won't be a palette as such. What we're proposing is that working with Kilt, we create this credential that then allows a link between the asset and various different DIDs, whether that's communication or different kinds of documents. So it's more infrastructure, and it's more how we link everything together and be able to verify each entity and document. As Matt's already said, you know, if you use the Apelon system, you can drop a document into their front end, and it will tell you whether the hash is the same as another hash, so you know that document hasn't changed. So if you imagine communication about an asset as well has a particular hash, so you could check whether that communication has changed. So if a decision was made throughout its lifetime, you can actually check various different parts of that communication. So it's a mix between documents and communication relating to different assets. And yeah, I think from a structural perspective, it won't make any difference to what's already out there. It will just enhance it.
So then the net effect is you would have default privacy between these DIDs and these assets.
Yes.
Right? Understanding? Okay, so this became more interesting for me personally, because I've been working with the Centrifuge as an active contributor with a large project. I don't know how much I can say, but based out of El Salvador, they're looking to tokenize certificates of deposit because they have US dollars. They're also trying, and we're talking a lot of TVL, like 6 billion. And so what they're looking for is one of the reasons that I talked them into using Centrifuge and building on Polkadot and this ecosystem is because of the private data layer that's accessible through Centrifuge. And so having something like this, because they're wondering, like, how can we pass messages in a secure way? And I wasn't fully because I know we've chatted in the OpenGov TG for Lucky Friday. And one of the things I wasn't completely aware of is exactly like what extent this could be used for campaigns and projects. So now I find this more personally interesting. So I'm sure we'll continue to talk.
Yeah, I did, just to finish, I did have a meeting with .play the other day, and whilst they don't necessarily think it would be good from a low value gaming perspective, they thought where there's high value experiences, they could utilize it for their project. So I just think there's a bit of a learning curve everyone needs to go through, but I just think, you know, we've got just over a week to go. I'll do as much as I can to bridge that learning gap, but I just need a bit of confidence in the system and a bit of confidence in us as contributors to get the line.
Hey, Angie.
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I just wanted to mention that our team met with Richard because we were looking at this solution for .play and this idea of, you know, at digital assets. And it was a really great conversation because we concluded that we might need we definitely need to talk to Kilt. We reached out to them. We're gonna look at maybe the gaming version of this. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it would be great for you to explain C types, I think, for people, because that was the kind of light bulb for me.
Thank you. Yeah, for those that don't know, so if you imagine a DID, a digital identifier, is a unique hash. In effect, it's like if you imagine the top level, and then you would have accounts and KYC verifiable credentials for your own personal identity underneath. But you might have things like, for us, there's obviously things associated with real estate, but for a gaming situation, you might have a player age, for instance, might be a credential, or you might have a player level, or other sort of things that are relative to different kinds of sectors. So the DID system is amazing, and Kilt have built something brilliant. And I know there's other DID solutions out there. I just haven't worked as closely with them as I have with Kilt. So I think it could work for everyone, but I think it could be really useful for a lot of different sectors, and gaming would be great.
That's great. Thank you, Richard. You know, just your comment you made just previously, looking for confidence here. Oh, wait. Did you just get a little bump? I'm not sure. Don't pay attention to me. But complexity and OpenGov don't go very well together. And so these big ideas sometimes take a few tries to go through. So I hope you don't give up, and I hope we find some solution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Any more questions? Okay, all good. Now, I just want to take a quick moment to say that I don't actually appreciate you audience members sending me screenshots of looking so awesomely healthy today. I will try to put a smile on my face for you. But if you could stop the screenshots of me, I'd appreciate it. Love you all so much. Okay, stop it. All right, all right. Now let's keep this party going here. We have, Token Terminal. Hey, I've been really enjoying their content, Token Terminal content. They're here now looking for 1.01 million USDT. Big spender proposal 1346 that just got into the decision period. Currently, no support, but pretty early days. We have on the call for this Robert. Yes?
Hey,
Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. Yes, we can.
Great, great. So I have a few slides. Is it okay that I share?
Yes, please.
All right, just a moment. Here.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, all right. Just a second. All right. Thank you. So I'm did the 8 minute already start? Okay, it started. Great. So yeah, one of the co-founders of Token Terminal. To the ones that don't know Token Terminal, we launched in 2020. I guess we are already a crypto OG, being 4 years plus in the space. We've established ourselves as a household name in the crypto data analytics market. Just to name drop a few things, we're one of the first and only on-chain data providers for Bloomberg Terminal. Additionally, we have partnered with a VanEck subsidiary called Market Vector to launch fundamentals weighted crypto indexes. We focus a lot on the institutional crowd. So a lot of the 100+ top leading investors, both institutions, but also crypto VCs, use us daily in their daily workflows. Just to name drop a few, Bitwise, Fidelity are using us, obviously VanEck, Bloomberg. On the crypto VC side, Multicoin, Pantera, Polychain. So what sets us apart in many ways is, well, we're a data platform, but we are an end-to-end data platform. Because we have institutional requirements, we run, not only do we provide a nice web UI and an API to ingest the data, we also run for many of the chains we support our own node infrastructure. We manage a 0.5 petabyte data warehouse, which means 500 terabytes, where we have raw, decoded abstractions, price feed, asset tables, and also our unique standardized data sets as well. And this approach has allowed us to become the de facto institutional data provider. Also, I want to highlight here that this is the second initiative we're working. The first initiative we worked together with Parity. And the idea there was to cover deeply the Polkadot data points to standardization for the Polkadot relay chain, but also the system parachains, and also cover leading indicator metrics for top parachains as well. We have a dashboard that's available for anyone to view. I'll link it in the Q&A section if you want to take a look at that. Deep diving a little bit to the problem states we're seeing as we've been working together with Parity on the existing initiative. A few things we've noticed as we've been working on this is that there's a certain, how would I say, glass ceiling of what sort of metrics are even enabled with the current data access. So a lot of the metrics and analytics are focused on gas use, transaction counts, active addresses, transactions per second, etc. And the big limiting factor is that while it's possible probably for very a very Polkadot native person to dig deep into the data structures and build this themselves, there is not really a scalable way to calculate dollar-denominated metrics, because there is no scalable on-chain price feed or asset tables that you can use to build these metrics. So while these foundational metrics on the public datasets are a great start, they give the institutional investors an early snapshot of traction, an idea what's happening. That lacks the certain customizable ability that's required to capture what's actually happening, if we can use the term business side of the application. So as we've been developing, working with Parity on this existing initiative, we've done quite a lot of data R&D, and we've launched for our internal uses an on-chain price feed and a lookup asset table that can map foreign and native tokens together. We're already with Parity in discussions about integrating these to their .lake. So as part of this initiative, the main idea is to go deeper to 20 parachains or rollups. How do we call them? And secondly, on top of Token Terminal, add a new distribution channel on Google Web3 Marketplace, where we would be, where any other data providers can also plug in to the datasets we've built. With this, as you can see on the right, the sort of metrics that are enabled scalably for anyone to build are TVL, net deposits, fees, revenue, token incentives, earnings, treasury metrics, PE ratios, valuation multiples, active users, etc. So if we think about an institutional investor and we think about the impact side, basically what is an institutional investor? It basically means that when your investment committee is not your husband or wife, that means like you have to actually have a lot of data to support your investment thesis. And these are big asset allocators. So if you don't present them the sort of metrics that they're accustomed to analyze these rollups, you might lose on a lot of asset allocation from these institutions. So just to highlight the value proposition here is that we provide standardized high-quality data for a leading institution. This data is foundational for market research and asset allocation in general. It's table stakes. Having this data available paves the way for institutional demand, e.g., DOT can be included in indices or even potential DOT ETFs in the future. Already saying here, we already with the first initiative, we have got a lot of positive community engagement from project teams, from thought leaders, but also some of the outside the community people as well, noticing these metrics. We have the proposal out. This is a small part of that deck we have in the proposal, just so we can go through. We have also the technical architecture, cost breakdowns, everything laid out. Happy to take yes, any questions. Questions
Okay,
next.
great. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sean.
Hey, Robert. Thanks for the presentation. I want to say I like Token Terminal a lot. I gave an interview with you guys a little while back, and it was a great experience. I just want to say something that I think is obvious, but I just want to make sure that's said. One of the concerns that I would have with Token Terminal is that I think if we look at the current blockchain landscape, everyone's building a bunch of different DeFi platforms, and the measurement for blockchain is basically DeFi. It's it's like Web3 and DeFi is like somehow very highly intersected right now, when I think we view Web3 being much larger. One thing I just want to make sure you have context for, that you will keep in mind when you partner with us, is that Polkadot isn't building a DeFi platform; it's building a computer, right?
Yep.
And so when I saw a lot of the metrics that you manage and all these kind of things, these are all very applicable, like TVL, etc., to someone building a exchange or someone building some kind of DeFi platform. But I really think, this is also, I think, a bet for the future, that this whole DeFi race will bubble down, and actually what we'll be looking at is a race of cloud services and cloud computers providing Web3 services. And I hope that you will use us to pivot into that kind of metrics, and hopefully you also represent us with those kind of measurements, right? Like, I don't think, for example, it's fair to look at, for example, the number of transactions on the Polkadot relay chain. I don't think it's fair, for example, to look at the total value locked on the main relay chain. Like, of course, we're going to have DeFi platforms as well, but I would really want to see like what kind of metrics and stuff can represent our Web3 cloud service. So anyway, that's just a comment.
Nice. Okay, anybody else? Okay, all good. Looks like we're at time there. Yeah, I'll just say, speaking the language that everyone else is speaking, obviously we just learned with the spamming is really, really good. I definitely echo Sean's vision there for the future and some metrics that actually make some more sense on the power of the blockchain. But yeah, thanks very much. By the way, whoever has the eye for your Twitter posts, for the charts that you guys are posting, very good. We're really inspired by those at the Coos. Really interesting stories that you're pulling out of the data there. It's cool.
I'll give back the feedback in our team.
Cool. All right, thanks. Thanks for
you.
that. We'll see how this goes. It looks like you got a little bump during the show. Now you're 29.3% in favor. Somebody came in with a vote there. We'll check on that next week. We're now going to throw it over to, hey guys, thanks for waiting. Connor, hi. How you doing? Andrew and Chris is here or no?
Chris is here. He's just looking like Steve Jobs in Miami today.
Oh, damn, Chris. I see the tan. Looking good, man. Guys, welcome back to the show. How's it going with the discussion phase here?
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it, Jay. And I think it's a good update to start with. We, first and foremost, individuals on this panel, like Sean Tabrizi, who's been, so generous with his time to kind of talk to us, coming out of even feedback over the last 2 weeks about looking between stables, split stables, DOT, how does all that work? We learned a lot just having great conversations with him. And then even just going further down that discussion, we've landed on the fact that probably one of our first and most important updates is that we will be, when we do put up our referendum, it is going to be 100% in stables. So we're not going to be seeking any DOT moving forward. With that, some changes obviously take place in terms of the breakout in budget of what we were allocating. The current $3 million proposal that was put up, it's important to know that did not include any agency fees. It didn't include Connor getting paid in any way, any PSA money. We were going to roll the dice and lean on inflation in hopes that the token went up and be able to hold on and be able to liquidate it periodically in hopes that we were going to be able to take some of the gains. Obviously, just looking at this from a very even-minded mindset, we also want to see what the best and most probable opportunity is for both the community and for us. So we have landed on going with those stables. With that being said, we also did have a conversation with the race team that we're going to be racing for next season on Friday last week, and we were informed of some budget changes in terms of like upscale things that they're messing around with at track, programming, and just overall sponsorship numbers in general. Therefore, it's important to note that there will be an adjustment in the price, factoring in both the account that we are going to be factoring in agency fees to run the program, and then also Connor's PSA money, ambassador money as well. But then further inflationary stuff that has come from the race team. So that number will be adjusted to 3.5 million when we put our referendum up probably next week. Again, we're happy to break down the budget. I hope, again, with token health and everything we're looking at, there's no smoke and mirrors. We've already began to reach out and engage with the marketing bounty to begin those discussions, to review activation plans, programs. Funky's been great in helping us get in front of some conversations with different PVs as well. So to date, we are doing everything we can from a due diligence standpoint to, again, keep morale high. And again, we're very, very confident in terms of this being a affordable program and being still a highly discounted program and a premium entity like Motorsports and stuff that is going to bring immense value. As we look at some of the comments on the discussion, number one thing is go to the marketing bounty for all of it. This is just marketing. This is marketing. I think it goes as no surprise that a program like this should be looked at as an omni-channel enterprise program. There's a lot of layers to it, and there's a lot of unlocked and things that we've hopefully been able to bring to the table with elements of B2B, like, parties like VBrick, who are still actively working with Block Deep Labs and building out their own MVP, for some of those different projects as well. There's continuous and ongoing conversations for education, working side by side with the folks over at EZA for integrating the sports and tech and education side that we're trying to leverage as well. But again, further, it is a very layered and opportunistic way to leverage Polkadot in a front-facing layer one consumer way. However, there's a lot of benefits to the community that we think just provide a greater value prop, to have to go to the OpenGov system. So, Connor, I'll throw it to you, but I think those are the main points that we just wanted to get across today. Obviously, we are still having several conversations over the next few days, but we hope to get the referendum up as early as next week.
All right.
I think you're muted, Mr. Daly.
Yeah, obviously, sorry, tech idiot me. Just kidding. Yeah, we've honestly, I'm actually really impressed with what Andrew and Chris have done. Everyone working together, the support that a lot of the folks here as well has been super meaningful. Only because it's become a very detailed and very impressive, I guess, just program in general that I think is far greater than even the first one that we did, and for really not a ton more when it comes to the funding side. So I think we've learned so much over this year that what we can do now is implement it in such a massive way. So it's impressed me to learn, and it honestly, even Andrew, I didn't think he was that smart. Now I think he's very smart. I mean, he's using terms that I've never heard him use before, and it's pretty impressive. So the amount that he has learned from Chris and what Chris has helped us with, and all of you, including like Jay, Funky, everyone, it's been really cool. So I'm excited about it. It's obviously a little bit early to be super excited, but like there's a lot of data that we have, and there's a lot of information that we have that's we're really confident in. So we just want to move forward and kind of get the ball rolling.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we have 2.5 minutes left. Does anybody have any comments or further questions? Yes, Funkatron.
I'm going to have to throw my hand up and offer some support here. As I've been saying for probably the last year and a half or more, we really need to strengthen our presence in the United States. It's the global capital markets. We now have a Trump transition team that's coming in that is going to be very pro-crypto. We need to do everything we can to get additional notice here in the States. I mean, we already have James doing great work with this down in Miami. We've already joined the FBBA. Florida is a massive state, third biggest in the US in terms of population, fourth biggest economy. It's like the 17th biggest economy on the planet, right? St. Pete is going to be the kickoff of the 6 races that are going to happen. I've already said to Andrew, if this does go through, I will do whatever I can to leverage my new connections with Kathy Wood and the ARK Invest team, bring some real heavy hitters, try and get other people involved. This VC fund that I'm going to talk to, that there's a lot of blockchain businesses in the Tampa Bay area. We really could have great conversations surrounding Polkadot. So I'm all for doing this, and I really think it's a great value to the entire ecosystem.
I'll just add to that. Some of the stuff I've been hearing coming out of the Inter-Miami/Miami in general crew is crazy. It's like, imagine the biggest thing you can with the Inter-Miami deal, and then it's probably not big enough. It's like incredible what they're doing out there. Michael, how about you?
Yeah, no, awesome, guys. This is probably a pretty obvious one. Like, we're all very bullish Dot as well, and I wouldn't get discouraged about the whole stables conversation. There's obviously a backstory that people have probably explained to you there, but with your stables that come through, just go buy Dot and get the upside again anyway.
Hell yeah.
And listen, you don't know us well enough, Michael, but we're degenerate gamblers. Don't do that to us now. Come on. So,
well, Dot's not degenerate. It's the safest. We won't talk that here.
Yeah. I love that, Michael. All this buy pressure from Treasury spends.
We just want the Connor daily wick is what we want.
Light it
up. Yeah, Angie.
Yeah, just to add to that, Funky, we definitely should talk. Kathy and team are planning a lot of things that we could collaborate on, and also we're working at Dotplay really closely with our digital assets team, which is just expanded, and one of them actually has some roots in Polkadot. So let's connect after this.
God, I love America.
And apologies in advance for not replying to your Telegram post or Telegram DM. Sorry.
Awesome. And just the one thing here while I have like 1 minute left. I know Sean and Jay have
1 minute left, sir.
You're at time. You're majorly at time.
Uh,
man. You're overtime.
All right, I'm good. I'm good.
All right,
Respect the
guys.
clock.
Guys, thanks for coming on. Yeah, that marketing bounty, I mean, I feel like that argument there, I mean, I would definitely advocate for this to be outside that because I agree with what you said there, by the way. And it's a little big to put in the hands of a small council, I would say. But okay, guys, thanks very much for coming in. I guess we'll see you next week. It's going to be posted by next week?
Yeah, we're gonna aim for Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, where's Robert? Oh, Robert, remember I asked you a few weeks ago if you could help with a multi-asset treasury proposal? This is what I was speaking about. Maybe we could get you to
Okay.
double check this one. Yeah.
Yeah, you can reach out to me, or just like check the running one. Yeah, then I can get back to you or to Andrew.
You are awesome. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Robert.
Let's keep rolling here. Oh, JAMTON. It's JAMTON, baby. 78,800 USDT for a bridge between Polkadot and Jam. Yeah, what's going on, Vlad? Hi, guys. We're halfway through the decision period. 18.8% in favor. How are we going to turn this ship around, guys? Welcome back to the show.
Hey guys, what's up? Can you please make the big screen for us, Jay?
Let's see. I'm not sure. Change layout. Auto spotlight. Let's say spotlight. Okay, there you go. Teaser. Okay.
Guys, how are you doing? So how much API is .ton staking? Oh my God. My name is .ton AG. .ton AG. .ton AG. Hey guys, let's check how the .ton is working. Oh fuck! What about our proposal? What's happening there? Guys, we have only 18% to agree. Fuck, guys. Let's go to trading the meme coins on Solana blockchain. Fuck that shit.
Legenda, first.
All right. Massive success. Thank you, guys. Is there anything else?
Hi guys. Do you hear us well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for waking us up.
So please check the Vladimir Sushkov now sending the all tokenomics of .ton inside the chat. You can open it because we become a lot of questions how the .ton tokenomics is working. We make the really great diagram so you can see it. By the way, the full version, when we start the preparation to explanation .ton for a baby spoon for a really easy way, we understand that we really prepared the big good announcement. So please open the .ton tokenomics. We're ready to answer to any question, but the main purpose of the TON token is bridge the liquidity from TON to substrate chain to bring all DeFi also from the Polkadot to the TON, and you can use this liquidity in the TON in substrate chain. That's the very important the decision, an achievement, what we bring to the substrate base. And also, please check our link that the TON biggest hackathon league was taking JAMTON to the next week to the pitch to the $2 million prize, the JAMTON network publicly in the biggest TON hackathon. So this is the big achievement for Polkadot. So we're gonna be, I believe, one of the like first live L2 for TON ecosystem using the Substrate SDK. And please, supporting us in this journey will bring the more news, the more interesting way, and the more TON DeFi ecosystem to the Polkadot. So please open the .ton tokenomics, and if you have any question about the liquid pool, rest taking, bridging, please, the whole team is here. We're ready to answer to the question. Thank you, Jay.
Well, congratulations. So you guys are semi-finalists in the hackathon?
Yes, it was 9 months. So the 9 months, the TON society, the TON community decide which startup is going to pitch for 2 million prize, and we were selected. The JAMTON was selected there, and the next week, beginning next week, we're gonna be pitch. Wish us luck. And yeah, just so you notice, they have 10,000 startups or something like that. These numbers, and we now in the chat, this chat, only 10 teams. We one of 10. I believe it's a big achievement for the Substrate and for the Polkadot also, because we're going to be push Polkadot there.
Something tells me you guys are going to stand out. Do we have any comments or questions for our folks here? Tommy, did you get to the bottom of your questions last week?
I'm just checking out the graphic. It's pretty big.
Yeah. I think if I understand it correctly, this JAMTON token it's only backed by other tokens. It's not like minted out of thin air, or does it have its own supply?
It's not have any supply. You can just
represents other tokens.
If you become TON, you can put the TON and issue the TON.
Yeah.
And the most important part, you don't sell the DOT to get liquidity from TON. So
Yeah,
you become the DOT.
Yeah.
Mint that TON and burn that TON and become TON, or you can bring TON, mint that TON, and get out in the DOT. It's a cross-chain liquidity.
Sean, how is this developing with you? How's it sitting with you now?
Yeah, actually, I was just interested if you could, in like less than a minute, just describe the tokenomics. Like you said, to go look at the paper, but in your words, if it's only tokens getting minted by other assets or whatever, what is the tokenomics, high level?
Danila? Okay, I need to explain. So the tokenomics, it's actually no tokenomics there. So it's a liquid staked representing token coin. So it's mean that 1 by 1 to the dollar from TON or from DOT, the TON, and this TON can be restaked inside the protocol. That's basically it. It's no tokenomics there. So the tokenomics, it's liquid staking and restaking.
What do you think, Sean?
That makes more sense to me. I think I was just confused with the word tokenomics. I started immediately thinking that they were launching their own token. So I think that makes me feel better.
You know what's crazy? Yes, thanks, Sean. We're getting people trying to spam the show in the other room. That's really annoying. Okay, thank you, Sean. Anybody else have a question for them while we have them here? No? Okay. Well, I guess that's that. Vlad, anything else you want to say?
Me not. We're just preparing the update for the next AG.
Okay, nice. Well, yeah, Michael, welcome. Yeah.
Not necessarily like an opinion either way, but just like feedback. Like in our community, we spoke about this hypothetical project coming, and we got a lot of attention and lots of comments and lots of chatter on it. So I think that's just more around the fact that TON does have a lot of hype, just to back up everything that Vlad has been saying. Like if the goal of the project is eyeballs, I don't understand technically because I'm not technical like that, but if we're using it as a narrative to also bring more people to Polkadot, like just from a retail side, like TON gets hit. So that's just a matter of a fact.
Yeah, ton is absolutely massive. And that's kind of basically where I'm sitting here. Like I don't have the expertise to verify if this is gonna work, but for $79,000, I'm interested in letting them try. That's my idea, but we'll have
Same.
to see. All right, well, we'll have to see what everybody thinks altogether. We still have 2 weeks left for this proposal there, Vlad, so hopefully we'll see you again. Will you come with another banger presentation, or are you going to focus on the hackathon?
Yes, that was the teaser.
Oh, that was a
So
teaser.
we come
Oh,
back with the full version. It wasn't the beginning. It was the teaser.
yeah. Oh, shit, the full version next time. 8 minute. Yeah, Angie, real quick. Or,
Oh, sorry, I just hit the button.
yeah, all good.
It all sounds good. Yep.
Cool.
Hi,
Okay.
Angela. We have the call with you actually the next week, right?
Yep, correct. So
See
I'll have
you.
more,
See
I'll
you
have
on the
more,
call.
more next week. Yes, thanks a lot.
See you on the call. Thank you so much.
Okay, Vlad, thanks for coming by again. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, we're gonna visit now a really interesting proposal. It's teetering on the edge. This is the Treasury proposal for the Merkel Mountain belts, MMBs. We are just over halfway through the decision period, and 53%, 53% support. Doesn't look like all of the DVs, or a lot of the DVs are just sitting abstain. So looks like we have a couple weeks to make our closing arguments to get this across the line. Robert, welcome to the show. And is anybody else here for this?
Yeah, Alfonso's here as well.
Alfonso, yes. Hey, welcome as well.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, thanks for having us back. I have no idea how we can follow Vlad's banger here with anything. Alfonso, can you do a dance? Or no, I'm kidding. Cool. Yeah, so since last we just wanted to quickly follow up on the discussion since last week. Like this week, much less happened than the last one. We had some discussions with DAOs, but also like a comment now from Chaos DAO. Maybe I'll just screen share like the current state of the can you see my screen? I guess you can all see yourself mirrored now. And now you should see a page with Poke Assembly. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So thanks. We've received a couple of comments on here a few weeks ago. Just want to say thanks for the feedback there. We have responded to all of them. I just want to ask that anyone who has commented on our proposal here, who we've commented to, if our comment here changed their mind or if they have any new inputs, we're happy to receive more feedback on that. The one update I do want to speak about is because we've also gotten Chaos DAO's feedback here, and they again raised the topic of like the success reward there, and if we can introduce like an upper cap on it. So the one thing I want to highlight, because this is something that we want like input on from others as well, is so we thought about this implementing an upper cap on the success reward, and for incentive alignment, we see like for or as a general like model for teams, we see a restriction here because if a team was to like reach the upper cap of this here, then they would have no more incentive to keep on improving the library. But we do hear the we do definitely hear that the concern to protect treasury funds. So what we've done here is to, I'll just highlight them here, is to present two options that we see like for reducing the success reward in our case. If you remember, our success reward is 30% over 10 years. And what we propose here, which is based on what we heard here is like, well, what if this starts saving a lot of money? So that means this also receives a lot of money. We see two options for dealing with this, and we like community input on them. So our proposal estimates the cost saving from MBs if bridges are successful at $1.1 to $1.4 million. And we propose option 1 and 2 here. The first option is that for the savings below 1.4 million, we reduce the saving, our share of the cost saving, the sex reward will get to 20%, and then only after 1.4, it goes to the original value of 30%, or we do it vice versa, which is that we keep it at 30% below the 1.4 million, and we reduce it to 20% for above the 1.4 million if that doesn't get exceeded. So both of these have different like risk profiles. So there's a trade-off to be made here, and we have our preferences for the first one because we think that is better for like long-term incentive alignment, because our it incentivizes us even stronger to find greater efficiency improvements because it's win-win for both sides. But what we've heard from the community so far is that they prefer to like like reduce it if it does end up saving like a lot of money, in which case the second option may be more attractive. For anyone who's in Kustau, like on our referendum thread there, we have created a poll there where we take in the input, which option is preferred. So far, we've just gotten the feedback that the only feedback we've gotten is like both routes are like they're happy like to vote aye either way, but we still need to get further feedback on that poll. So I just encourage anyone who has an opinion on this to like mention it in the thread there that we have on Polk Assembly, or like where we've discussed this in a DAO to like mention it there as well, what they think of that. Yeah, I think that's what I have there. So it's yeah, I think we can use the rest of the time for any feedback on that anyone wants to discuss.
Okay. Let me get you out here. Awesome. Do we have any questions or comments or concerns or anything like this for Robert? Yeah, Limo.
Hey, yeah. So we spoke in DMs a bit. So I think the one where you get a bigger percentage up until some cap, and then a smaller percentage after makes more sense. So you can compare this in like oil and gas industry, where the operator like BP, Exxon, Chevron, whatever, will take like a massive percentage of profit from oil and gas sales up until they've became whole. But in your case, it would be up until you reach a certain amount of funds to sustain the team, and then after that, it's like a smaller percentage, which is like you've met your cap, but this is still doing really good, and it can pay for like maintenance and stuff, right? So I preferred that option where it's a bigger percentage up until the cap, and then a smaller percentage afterwards. Personally, because yeah, like we said last week, the cap or whatever definitely seems to be an issue, as well as the time period and how realistic it is to like agree now to a 10 years thing, and then in 5 years time when there's maybe different voters that they actually like keep the same agreement, right? And that they're happy with the agreement that we made now, right?
Yep. No, thanks for the feedback, and that's why I think it's good to get feedback on now which route is preferred, so that we have something that is remains aligned with preferences of the Treasury.
Cool. Anything else? Any other questions? Yeah, I think this this complexity thing is becoming bigger and bigger. One of the main feedback I would give proposals all the time was like lead with proof of work. That was my main thing. But now the next advice I always give proposals is just make it as simple as possible. When we add complexity, it adds all this attack surface. So I would say, Robert, that I saw you did this poll in Kustau, like which option. But to be honest, I would just make a decision and give it to people. Sometimes it's just leading people to the answer that they need to get to is useful as well.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. We're trying to make this collaborative, but we'll see like how much feedback. Hopefully, we get a lot of feedback and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
informs the decision. Because we like ultimately it's up to the community here. But I hear you on like then just making if we don't get enough feedback, then we may just like make a decision to go with one route or the other.
Of course. Noble
Yeah, Limo.
trade-offs. Noble trade-offs. Limo, what do you want to say?
Yeah, like we've said since like episode 8 of this show, if for example this ref fails because there's like been a lot of like some changes, don't be afraid to go again with like very specified this is what we're doing this time, because people might have already voted and not come back to it, but then if you post a new ref with like the updated information, then it might change their mind, right?
I agree with that. Just doing a ref again like creates churn for both sides. So I really like if we can like resolve it in this one.
Of course. That's always painful to be exposed to OpenGov. But look, we have Chaos DAO. Maybe they can vote different with new information. Kustau, maybe they can vote different. I think that one's pretty close, actually. Or actually low voter turnout for Kustau, I think, on this one, interestingly, which does show that it's kind of, people are a little confused. And Lucky Friday is split as well. What do we have? Oh, Lorena, hey, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Well, I read the proposal and I read today again because I suppose I already vote, but for me the most concerned topic is related with receive part of the third point. Okay, let me check the number. Yes, the proposed 30% reward share over 10 years. Okay, because we support that. Okay, the Treasury support this proposal. It's not a proposal that we make this development, we have a contract, and because we do all of this, we can have an agreement and have this 30%. We pay for everything, we as a Treasury. And to me, it's not logic that if the Treasury pay for that, we should pay after that for this cost saving. That is my main concern, and I suppose the community is one of the most controversial point for this proposal.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that gets rectified in the future. Definitely a hard one, because I don't know. I mean, I'll still be here. Limo, you'll still be here, but everyone else, I'm not so sure. I'm sure you are all gonna be retiring.
I am damned to this eternal hell.
Episode 690. All right. Cool. Robert, thanks for coming on. We still have 2 weeks, so let's see what happens, eh?
Yep.
Radical. Alfonso, thank you. Oh, yeah, you want to say something?
I just wanted to, just the summary that we committed to a reduction on the success rewards. We're giving 2 options. We invite anyone to give their opinion, and then we'll just take the majority opinion and go with that reduction. We did it because I don't know, we were feeling playful. But thanks for the feedback that maybe there was no need to complicate things. As I would keep that in mind.
So we thought doing this as a poll would be an interesting way to get feedback there and change the proposal as a result. But we'll see how much feedback we get. Hopefully, if it's good, a lot of feedback, then we know okay, this is the one that the community supports most.
Cool. Awesome, guys. No, thanks very much. Raul, I did see there you're going to be stuck in round 2 in a wheelchair. I hope it's a nice wheelchair, at least. That'll be great. All right, let's keep going now. We're calling this part of the show last minute submissions. Usually I just let it slide, but today, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. But we'll put 8 minutes on the clock for this Wish for Change by Mr. Remy back on the show. Nice to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much, Shay. Nice to be back. Again, really sorry for the late submission, but it's a fun one, so I'll give you that.
All right.
So
thank you.
If you guys are interested, we submitted a Wish for Change today. And there's been a persistent issue in the Polkadot eco generally, I would say, that surrounds our branding, adoption, and just the general awareness of Polkadot. So to keep it short, so many teams in the past, and I won't name, but have received funding from Treasury. And there's a number of teams, projects, individuals who have received funding, but none of them have brandished, I would say, our logo. None of them branded it. They haven't really included it in their campaigns, product, or socials. Realistically speaking, they've all been funded by the Treasury. And this Wish for Change, it wants to help increase visibility of Polkadot. So we want to basically propose it to make it a requirement to display the Polkadot logo in some format on their websites, campaign materials, product, socials, or all other public materials. So on the Wish for Change, on the actual proposal itself, we've outlined some guidance with some minimum requirements. So we tried to keep it fairly simple as well. And the minimum requirements is, just to briefly run through them, pretty much summarizing what I said above. Any teams who receive funding from the Treasury must display the Polkadot branding for as long as their campaign, product, or project is live and functioning. You can assume for requirement 2 as well, the branding logo will remain visible and won't be removed. And for requirement 3, when requesting money from the Treasury, we want to try and encourage a standard that teams will explicitly say in their proposal what they intend to display and where. And lack of acknowledgement of this Wish for Change, we will, may result in voters questioning the proposal. But this is something we want to try and instill where, teams can come to the Treasury and submit a proposal, but, we want to try and make them aware that Polkadot, the branding of it is important too. And, whatever it is, the project going forward, but we want to try and include a small section and try and encourage that going forward for teams to include it. And it'll take a while to do, but hopefully with this Wish for Change, we can try and instill it, especially with the help of, DVs and, DAOs popping up around the ecosystem, and obviously other people contributing. But moving on from that, we have, some wording and design. I spoke with the Distractive, and we created some there was some discussion around the secured by Polkadot, powered by Polkadot, and funded by Polkadot, terminology. And there's a lot of discussions on the forum as well, if people are interested, currently going on, which is the visibility for funded projects. I think it was started by the White Rabbit, who I think is actually in the call. But that's currently the link. So Jay, if you want to post that link as well to the actual chat, that'd be great. And this is basically just discussing how we should really classify certain projects: secured by Polkadot, powered by Polkadot, funded by Polkadot. While the Wish for Change can't enforce what teams display, we really do try and ask teams to adhere to whatever really suits them best. And there's a few ideas in that. So if you want to gather ideas of what you think your team or project suits best, whether it's funded by, powered by, secured by Polkadot, we can use sort of this forum post to try and discuss it. I would say, realistically speaking, the next steps is going forward is basically just getting awareness of this Wish for Change, trying to get it enacted, and hopefully try and enforce it by using, I guess, DVs and DAOs to try and just create that sort of sentiment and that sort of standard where people can start to realize that we need to have this on their proposals. But yeah, I think that will basically sums it up. So I'll leave some time for questions. Limo, yeah.
GM, so as an employee of a company that proudly represents Polkadot everywhere and plasters it everywhere possible, I think this is really good. You can see a similar thing done by the IBP, where in order for a parachain to get free RPC services, they have to add secured by Polkadot, right? You need to have some kind of carrot for people to do stuff, right? And I think this is quite a good carrot. There was a parachain that will remain anonymous in this conversation that requested 7 figures from the Treasury, and they did not have anything related to Polkadot on their website. And it was something that I raised as being a really big issue, that if you want Treasury money from Polkadot and you're not mentioning Polkadot anywhere on your website or socials, that probably you shouldn't get the money. And then they pretty quickly added Polkadot to their website. So this is definitely, you're saying, something that DAOs, DVs, whatever, really need to help enforce going forward. And I think it's a really good Wish for Change. So thanks, Remy and White Rabbit and everybody that was involved in this.
Thank you, Limo. Michael?
I want to give a contrarian view here. I'll preface this with I'm building in the ecosystem. I'm part of a parachain team. We do display Polkadot. We have very proudly represented Polkadot in everything that we're doing. So I just want to preface my comment, but I do want to give a contrarian view that I also run a media outlet, quite a large one. And I feel like if we were to compel teams to do this, it would force them as part of their marketing strategy of onboarding non-Polkadot people into our ecosystem when it might not be advantageous to do so. For example, I cannot reveal who, but I white label sell our research to quite a well-known social media influencer brand. And so it's all produced by our team in Indonesia, and we on-sell it, and it's produced publicly by an English-speaking platform, which you all would have heard of. And for us to go in hard on Polkadot heavy content, the whole community, they're instantly not interested, because it's last cycle. It's not the hot topic. It's not in the lips of all of the VCs right now. But as we've spoken about the tech, and as we've been able to actually onboard people into projects and ecosystems that don't have Polkadot plastered everywhere, they've now seen it, and we've been able to change hearts and minds. So I don't think that we should make lepers out of people that have an alternative strategy of onboarding people from outside the ecosystem, because it might be part of a marketing strategy. And obviously we want them to have allegiance, and they should have allegiance to the ecosystem, especially if they're being funded. But it's more nuanced and more complicated to an onboarding strategy, especially when people who have been around for more than one cycle already may have a very preconceived idea about our ecosystem. And the second they see pink or logo, people shut down. I've had VCs galore do that. The second you mention DOT, you could be half an hour into a conversation. Nope. So we've got to be a little bit more nuanced and just making lepers out of people that might have a marketing strategy or a reason why they're doing that.
Okay, thank you for the contrarian view. We have 1 minute left, so let's hear about Sean's thoughts.
Yeah, I do agree that it shouldn't be that this requirement forces DOT into the marketing strategy, but I think it's all about attribution. So the word I'm thinking for is not marketing, it's attribution. So when I use Docusaurus as a website thing, it says powered by Docusaurus in there. When I use a open source library, I need to attribute that as a part of my project. It's not necessarily that I'm branding that this is the basis on which I'm doing marketing. It's just giving reality check to the fact that they got money from us and that they should attribute that to us. That being said, I mean, if there is this stigma, like where literally the word DOT, like, you know, funded by DOT shows up and this is, you know, going to lose someone's deal, I mean, this I think is a larger problem. I think that we shouldn't, how do you say it? Like, this is something that we need to solve at a wider level. I think making these general rules will be good for everyone and just, again, opens up the eyes that Polkadot is actually very present all around the ecosystem. I mean, this alone could actually change the way people think about and see DOT. So yeah,
I think I'll just have a quick add on to that as well. I think 100% agree. I think also when we want to try and like encourage people, when you said Michael, that people hear DOT and they shut down, I think the only way to change that is to start seeing people adopt it with this. And I think a lot of the things I hear generally from people in other ecosystems is no one builds on DOT. And that's consistent from a lot of people saying this. And really speaking, lots of people are. Lots of people using the tech, lots of people are getting funded by it, lots of people going to the Treasury, but we're not representing that. And I feel like we can start to change that perspective of people by forcing, essentially, by the help of DVs and DAOs, that people are building on it. But yeah, sorry, I'll cut it there. And if anyone else wants to jump in.
We're over time. Limo, did you have something very important to say? Of course you do.
Yeah. So again, it's not like you have to just like shill Polkadot constantly, right? It's attribution. So like Sean's saying, so for example, the chain I was mentioning before, it literally says on their website, working with Maker, Aave, Block Tower, Base, Seller, Circle, and Arbitrum, and didn't mention Polkadot, even though they're a Polkadot parachain. So it's just adding Polkadot there, right? It's not that they have to talk about Polkadot in their marketing constantly.
What letter does this project start with? It's in the first half of the alphabet.
Yeah, it is, yeah, right? But
in the first
it's like,
5 letters.
Yeah, but you know, it's the same stuff that Michael's saying that was like their problem. But it's like if you're requesting money, then probably you should have some attribution, right?
Okay.
If you're not requesting money, you can do what you want, right? But if you're requesting like quite a lot of money, you should probably have the logo somewhere.
Okay, we're way over time here. Lorena, do you mind if we move on, or do you have something brand new to add? We're over time, Lorena. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. All right, nice. By the way, this public perception of DOT, I mean, I think the winds are changing. I think people are coming around. So keep up the good work. Also, the marketing bounty, I think is they're doing really great work, by the way, and I think that is going to be, they're going to bring us something that we haven't had in a long time, and I'm very excited to see what comes out of there. Happy to work with those guys. Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, super quick about that. So some people, when that was getting funded with the new curators, were like a bit concerned that they were not going to take it seriously and it was going to be like the old one. These new curators taking it very seriously. They're having like tons of meetings with every team that I know, making sure that stuff is done properly and it's not anything like the old one. It's actually really refreshing to see how they're handling it.
One thing that's really good is I think that they have some, how do you say it? Like they have some balls. Like they're going to come out and do things, not just survey everybody for 6 months about what everybody else thinks they should do. Right? We need leaders in this space, right? Not LARPing decentralization. Okay, I'm going to move on to Ref 1331. What? Who knows? 1331. This is Incubator 2.0. Change the curators for Bounty 19. What do we got here? Who's here for this? Oh, Alejandro, welcome. Oh, you know what? You're we can't hear you. I think it's probably which microphone is connected to the Google Meet. Are you okay, Lee?
Oh, I'm great. I'm just having the time of my life on this show.
Wait, wow, Ale. Okay, no, never mind. That's just so stupid.
Oh, come on, what's
No,
up?
I can't. No, I'm at risk, like usually I hold so much back, behind this stoic face, But today, I don't know, it's just a little The cracks are showing. Hallie, let's hear.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm loving your voice though. Sounds
Oh,
good.
thank you, man. Thank you. What do we got here?
Yeah, no, just a quick mention. The ref is going pretty good so far. So first of all, thank you everybody that is supporting the change of curators. And then just a quick reminder of what the proposal is about. There's this bounty 19 that was focused on giving grants to projects using ink on our ecosystem, right? It kind of like fell through the cracks. It was not very active, but the bounty still existed. So what we are proposing is a change of curators. The curator set has like a few teams that you might have already heard of. I guess I can just mention them very quickly. We are Mihi, which was the lead of the Ink language team at Parity. Sebastian from Web3 Foundation representing the whole foundation. David Semacula, which is the sole developer of the Ink Analyzer, which is an extension for VS Code. Pretty cool. There is Velocity Labs as well, and Rogue, which is like the party I am coming from, right? We basically aim to revive the bounty, give it a refresh, open the doors again, and well, maybe, add some elbow grease, some proactivity, and try to bring projects and try to bring developers that are interested in building with ink to the ecosystem. I don't know, something else. The proposal is being voted on, so 28 days more or less until it is resolved, and from that point on, if it passes, expect, I don't know, like a month or month and a half, something like that, until we are up and running again. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's good stuff. I mean, I'm happy to see that this is getting resurrected, and maybe one last good kick at the can to really get this going. It's a nice curator list. Personally, I'm really supportive of what Rogue's trying to do, and I want to see it succeed. So that would be cool.
Yeah, we I don't know, we believe a lot as well in it. Let's see what happens. We are doing the most that we can.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Anybody have any questions or comments on this one? No? Okay, pretty straightforward one. Resurrect the ink bounty, and let's see what we can do with a passionate team behind it, I think is the idea here. The last leading ink team kind of let us down, I guess. So this could be good. Anything else you want to say, Alejandro?
Not much more. I know. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Nice, quick, nice and easy. Thank you for sticking around. All right, good. That's all the presentations we had today, but Tommy actually wanted to bring something up. I was a little cranky at the beginning of the show, and I was slightly rude, and I said we wouldn't talk about it, but I've been regretting it the whole show, and I just want to say I'm sorry, Tommy, and I'd like to give you the floor now to talk about, what you wanted to talk about, or literally anything. The time is yours.
Thank you, Jay. And we also have to say it's like show 191, and so if you divide this by 2, this is like 90 weeks of AAG or something. It seems like forever. So Jay, that you've been doing this is really amazing.
Oh, thank you, Tommy.
And I think it's a great service to open up.
Always nice to have you here, and all the other regulars. Yes, what did you want to talk to us about?
Right. Okay. So we have the marketing bounty, and the marketing bounty is working with a lot of service providers. People doing like physical ads, digital ads, maybe influencer marketing, maybe other kinds of sponsorships and so on, right? So lots of stuff. Now, some of those business partners, some of those counterparties need to maybe have a proper contract, or when they write an invoice, they need a proper counterparty for that, right? Now, bounties and all kinds of other sub-DAOs, they live in this illegal space of not illegal, but illegal. So like not legal, not illegal. It's just undefined. They live in this illegal space of blockchain, so they cannot act as a counterparty with a physical address. Now, for such situations, there is the option to maybe use the Polkadot Community Foundation. So this foundation in the Cayman Islands. Now, this is a possibility to maybe use the PCF, but the PCF has very long cycle times, because basically you need to make a proposal through OpenGov, and the PCF can only react to these proposals by OpenGov. And then it would go to lawyers if you make a contract, and then they would have to review. So there is now a discussion ongoing between the marketing bounty and the PCF. How could we structure a thing where the marketing bounty could act on behalf of the Polkadot DAO to sort of have a standardized way to set up a contract, and then the PCF can be the counterparty where a contract is made, or maybe the PCF can do a fiat payment if a counterparty needs that. Now, this so we want to start this discussion, and there is going to be a forum post, but sort of I'm bringing this up right now because maybe there is a lot of smart brains here in this room right now, so maybe there's already some initial questions about how to structure this, how to frame this, and so on. And so this is why I thought I'd bring it in here today, because maybe we can already get the wish for change or the Treasury proposal started before the end of the year. That would be good.
What would we need Treasury funds for?
Right. So the idea is that the marketing bounty might, together with the PCF, might develop like
to pay the PCF.
A few standardized contracts, like a contract for someone doing advertising and a contract for doing like physical advertising and so on. And then those standardized contracts would sit in the PCF, and then the marketing bounty could say, hey, please make a contract with this entity, and here's the money to set up the contract. So that's the rough idea. So, and every time you invoke the PCF to do something, you basically need to pay some legal consultants money. So we want to streamline this and make this as simple as possible and as cost efficient as possible. And so there's this thinking of maybe having a standardized process.
Yeah, interesting. Anybody have any thoughts? Yeah, Lorena.
Yes, sorry, but I'm lost something. As I know, the foundation, the Polkadot Foundation, was created for this kind of contract. So, what is the problem to this foundation sign everything? Well, why we need OpenGov? That maybe I'm wrong, but I don't understand what is the situation. If we have a foundation to sign all of this kind of contract, why we cannot use the foundation without any other step?
Yeah, we can. So the DAO can use it exactly for that purpose. It's but basically this is the first time there is the actual idea to do it, or there's a specific project to do it, and the foundation can only act when it is directed to do so by the DAO, right? But it would be very complex if we would need to have an OpenGov proposal every time we want to make one contract, right? So basically now that we're confronted for the first time with the situation of how do we actually use it, the idea is now, okay, let's make a simplified way where we, for example, amend the bylaws of the foundation so that when the marketing bounty can give one specific instruction to the PCF to say, here is some funds to set up a contract, and please set up the contract with that entity, right? So it's basically implementing the PCF now for a specific use case. Marketing bounty are doing a lot of business, so they are some of the first that indicated interest. But I also know of another bounty that's already interested in maybe joining the process.
Jose?
Yeah, so this will open the door for the foundation to have ownership on services and basically buy products of, let's say, events and things like that into the Polkadot domain, basically.
Yeah, the contract terms are completely open, so they are going to be part of that first step of figuring out how does the standardized contract look like. But one advantage is that there is an actual counterparty, and if for some reason someone does something that is not intended, you could even have a legal recourse if that is necessary.
Early days, still very clunky, but we get better by using it. Limo?
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, we need to make sure that the costs for this that the PCF is going to charge are not outrageous. I think Chrissy was on the show a few months ago talking about getting different legal teams for different purposes. So we definitely need to make sure whichever legal team reviews this kind of stuff isn't charging extortionate rates, because, for example, let's send an invoice to some agency or something is for like 20 grand, and then the legal team are charging like 10 grand to review it all. Obviously, that's not ideal as well. So yeah, we definitely need to do some analysis on how much this is going to cost us as well, because I'm assuming we need an open GovRef to then give money to the PCF to then pay for this as well, right? So we need to definitely not be dumb on that.
Sverna.
Sorry, but we during the code in Brussels, we discussed something about have a legal bounty to support project and to support parachain and many things. Maybe we can use that and avoid these kind of expenses, legal expenses. You organize a bounty, a legal bounty to do support to the foundation or the DAO, whatever, and not expend this amount of money that we can be invoiced. Sorry, but it's a crazy number. Of course, you are in Europe, but for me, it's a crazy number that you are talking about. We should avoid these kind of numbers, because it's not only one situation. We have situations in all around the world when we have to sign many agreements or contracts. So we should have a figure, a legal figure that can solve this situation, not only for Europe, only for United States or Latin. Okay, we need to solve this situation in a different way. Maybe we have to discuss that.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So the thing is, I guess we would be happy with anybody who is available, makes themselves available as a counterparty. So this can also be an open call. It doesn't have to be the PCF. It's just like the PCF was set up with the purpose of having an opportunity to do it, right? So if someone is willing to take all the risk of being like one counterparty in this whole thing, we can also work something out with them. Right, but the idea, the intention of the proposal is to create a standardized, simplified way so that we don't have these legal costs every time a contract is made, but basically set it up one time and then have a one-time fee for each contract that is lower. That's the idea.
All right. I just want to quickly bring our attention to this important document. We've talked about this a lot on the show. But this is the General Interference with Organizations and Productions from the 1944 CIA's Manual of Simple Sabotage, a timeless guide to subverting any organization with purposeful stupidity. It's always important just to reference this to make sure we aren't adding layers of complexity that will get in the way of progress. So I don't know which one this would fall under here, if at all. It might not fall under any of these at all. But yeah, maybe it's the first one. Insist on doing everything through channels. Never permit shortcuts to be taken in order to expedite decisions. Maybe it's something like that. Anyway, I'm just being facetious here to remind us that we don't, especially in this very important time where, we really need to step up things like the marketing bounty. We don't slow down progress just to, LARP again about doing things in some sort of official or correct way. Whatever we decide, it should not slow down progress or add any friction to the process. We need to make things more resilient without making them slower, if we can help it. But possibly we can here. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, you can also just in some jurisdictions, for example, I'm just invoicing to Polkadot. I don't care if it has a real address. And if it's going to be a problem in the future, like I intend to figure it out in a court. But that's me. I'm having more of a risk appetite. But yeah, some people just need it, so we should set up an efficient way to do it. And I think like having a little bit upfront cost and then having it cheap in the future might be the fastest way forward.
Me and the boys going to court.
Dude, that'd be sick content though. Like for
As we
real.
say, yeah. Episode 690 from jail. It's from the seniors jail.
Just the smuggled info and just broadcasting from jail.
Oh, hey, baby, you know we're never gonna miss a show. All right. Okay. Interesting discussion, Tommy. Let's see how it develops. And yeah, again, really excited about the folks there. Okay, so let's look at some refs on the go, discussions on the go. Next week we're gonna have Quit. Wait, is that how you say it? Quit? The mobile payments wallet. They're gonna come in for a little presentation next week, so that'll be pretty cool. I think we lost Angie, but I wanted to ask her about how the dot play games bounty refill is going. It'll be interesting to get an update on that soon. The retroactive funding for the PVM debugger, this one's flying through. And even in Kustau, like people just love it. They love things that are that come in under $20,000 by a strong team. This is almost 100% in favor right now, Lee.
Again, like we've said, if you want an easy time in OpenGov, start small, build your way up. It's so much easier to ask for like a small amount than it is to ask for $2 million, right? You get a lot less scrutiny. People are more optimistic on giving you a chance. Definitely the way to go.
We also, this is surprising, but the tip for Don Diego Sanchez and Lucy for their work, that dot tip, remember we talked about it last week. This is actually struggling almost halfway through the decision period with 33.6% in favor. What's the insight, Lee?
From talking to people, they believe that they do need a compensation for this, that they did good work. But a lot of people are getting hard stuck on like it being requested in DOT, and then the DOT price has gone up, blah blah blah, and would feel more comfortable in this being a stablecoin request, is what I've heard on the grapevine.
Looks like Lenexus and Kustau are side by side on the I side, but then Chaos DAO, Saxonberg, and Lucky Friday on the nay side in this one. Sean?
I think that we should, especially in this bull market, hopefully encourage more people requesting in DOT but lock DOT. Like I think the whole idea is that we say, oh well, DOT price is going up, this, that. We want this. We want people who are attached and incentivized to make DOT price go up. But I think we're worried is that they ask for $100 today, and then they actually get $200 and they dump it that day. So what we should actually do is just have locked DOT, have it be locked 1 year. It doesn't matter what the price is today or tomorrow or when the proposal ends. Yes, what matters is the price being there 1 year from today, right?
Is it possible today to do that, or no, not yet?
It should be possible. If it requires 2 calls, then it requires 2 calls. But like that's like the vibe. Like if we put in like what you can do is you can accept the DOT reward, and then you can immediately do a reserve transfer to yourself, a vested transfer to yourself, and then it would lock it. So, like someone like Lucy or whatever, I would definitely trust her to be able to do that when receiving the rewards.
Robert?
Yes, so like you can vest them like that. The other thing one can do, which I've seen like very little of, but I think is a good idea in general, because I'm a bit concerned about a lot of projects requesting like millions up front and then just getting it before delivering anything, is to have scheduled payments. That's something that we've done, so that like if you don't deliver, then you actually don't get it. And I think especially with like DOT, this makes sense, because then this is delayed. It's not DOT you can dump on the market right away. It's only like if you actually do deliver in the long run. So next to vesting, I encourage like more use of like the scheduled ability for payments.
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, Robert, front run me, you bastard. No, basically, yeah, if someone wants to make a nice thread on Twitter explaining to people how to do this, it's probably pretty good. If you want to front run me, because otherwise I'll do it on Monday. But yeah, so I agree with what Sean's saying, and Robert.
All right, nice. Easy A's, milestone 1 of their in-person hackathon and updated app. Doing pretty well. 68% in favor with about a week left. Looking to enter confirmation in a couple days. So, yeah, good for them. Let's see how that goes next week. Here's an interesting one. The Polkadot storage phase 3 of 3, 1.9 million for this third phase. Remember, this has kind of been a big one. This is about, what do we have here? Okay, about a week left and sitting at 20.1%. But lo and behold, key members of Web3 Foundation have started tweeting their support for this project. So I guess that was the confirmation we were looking for. This was one of those situations where, you know, the project comes in, they're like, oh yeah, somebody important told us that we had to do this. And then, but they're like, we can't tell you who it is. Well, now we have at least a little communication, but we'll have to see if that can sway the vote in the last week here, Michael.
Yeah, you front run me on it as well. We were speaking with the Web3 Foundation about a government solution, which we were looking for something like this, and they pointed us in the direction of this
Yeah.
team.
I mean, it's clearly part of the plan for Polkadot, but it just I have to pull teeth to figure that out. So we'll have to see if it happened in time. Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, again, like Web3 Foundation or Parity or whoever, if they're the ones that are telling people to do this, they should be more proactive on expressing their support and the reasons why they're in favor of it, and not wait like multiple weeks for people to like ask questions and then feel like they haven't been answered properly and all this kind of stuff, right? So it's just everybody. If you're active in the eco and you have like a opinion on something, be proactive on sharing it.
Creates mystery, and mystery is like a sibling with complexity. You know, both poison for an open gov proposal. But okay, so we'll have to see how that goes next week. It'll still be open, possibly, so we'll check it out. Finally, Encode Club. They're 128 and a third thousand USDT proposal. This is going pretty well as well. Less than a week remaining, just under 70%. And that's going to enter confirmation in a day and 9 hours. Looking at confirming proposals this week. Oh, what a beauty. 1303, Cooch Public Broadcasting, now enjoying 82.7% in favor. Thanks everybody for the great support. It would just be a massive shame if somebody put the wrong beneficiary address in here. I hope everything goes well, but thank you everybody very much for the support. And also Mimir's 2.0 multi-sig optimization and proxy proposal. This is confirming right now, 134,000 USDT. Great product, and happy to see that going through. Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, two things. The first one, I cannot imagine anyone putting the wrong beneficiary when we've spoken about it multiple times on the show. That would be not ideal. The second one is there's this ref that I've put in the chat, 1345, that I think came in yesterday or the day before. So this is Etherscan as a service for the Polkadot Hub and PokerVM Block Explorer. So like from a like just really high level standpoint, like Etherscan to most people seems like a no-brainer for this.
Yeah.
And it seems like the cost, this initial cost, is in line with what Etherscan normally charges. And this is being handled by Colorful Notion, who do have a track record of like delivering on what they're saying they're going to do with like June analytics and stuff. The one thing that people are having an issue with is, well, there's two things. So one of them is, what are the future payments? So is it going to be 1 million a year, like repeating? That would be really great to have like solidly locked in the proposal. So it's not Etherscan's a monopoly for PokerVM and now it's $10 million a year, like unlucky. The other thing is, oh damn, I forgot the other thing. It'll come to my mind soon. Oh, it's that the deal is with Colorful Notion, so it's under NDA between Etherscan and Colorful Notion. It would be great if Colorful Notion could share with somebody like Nico from Velocity the deal, so that somebody else can review it and then hopefully answer people's questions, as well as like a third party backing up what Colorful Notion says, right?
I'm going to have no comment on this. Does anybody else have a comment on this one? No. 1345, 1 million USDC. We'll have to see how this goes. Yeah, go ahead.
I think this goes into a further thing of like, you can have a lot of people doing BD stuff that have like NDAs with a service provider, and we should probably, as like a DAO, somebody or some people need to like probably review those deals as well, and not just the person bringing it, right? Because what if the deal has something in it that we don't agree with? So there should be some party that gets to see these deals as well. Is that the Web3 Foundation ecosystem growth coordinator or whatever it's called? I don't know, but we shouldn't just trust like the two parties to not share any information with token holders, in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit our vibe. with the whole OpenGov thing. So you're saying 1
Because,
million?
like-
Sorry, go ahead.
Because like Etherscan, they probably do want it to remain under NDA, and probably when they're dealing with other ecosystems, it's between them and whatever foundation, right? So then it's like fine because the foundation makes all the decisions. But in our case, it's not the Web3 Foundation controlling OpenGov, right? But then they don't want the deal to be public. So probably we need to decide collectively who can be kind of a responsible counterparty, I guess, for OpenGov to like review these deals and let us know if there's anything like not ideal in contracts, or just answer questions without breaking the NDA, like be kind of vague, but assure us that things we're worried about are not in the deal, right?
So you're saying 1 million is a typical integration price,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, 1 million is typical apparently. And then if it's 1 million, if it's like 1 million per year afterwards, then it's probably typical as well. But again, there's no, as far as I can see, there's no clarification about future costs. So it'd be great to have clarified, like, because you don't want something to be a monopoly, a closed source monopoly, and then we overly rely on it with like things like CX integrations and stuff, and then they randomly 10x the cost, which is always a risk with monopolies.
Yeah. Damn. Cool. Is there anything else anybody would like to speak about today? Excuse me.
Bless
Please, the caller.
Yeah, I'm on the way. Thanks.
Yeah, can we put in a ref to get you some hospital treatment?
How about a wish for change? Hey, I just want to say really quick, because this just got announced publicly, and it would be interesting probably for people to know if I have the URL right. Yeah, the next version of Turtle just got released, I think. Did it? Where's the app?
So Turtle was in beta, and now it's
Yeah,
not
here
in
it is.
beta.
V2.
Yeah, so it's quite good. We're currently testing it at Nova because it uses Snowbridge, but has like more token options and stuff. It seems pretty good. It has like Myth, for example, that Snowbridge default UI doesn't have, which seems to be quite demanded in the ecosystem at the moment.
God, when I moved my Myth from Ethereum over, it was very scary. I don't remember how I did it, but it was pretty. I think there was like a good 30 minutes there where I didn't know where everything was. So yeah, you can pick which chain we're starting from here, and there's several chains in the ecosystem as well. You can basically transfer directly to. So let's say we wanted to go to hydration. You can pick all these tokens are available there. Let's say you wanted to move some USDC, yeah, and okay. No, this is from and to. So let's go from Ethereum. Let's move Myth, and then yeah, it shows you where you can put it. So you can put it right on the Mythos chain there. That's so cool. So it's app.turtle.cool. Turtle.cool. Get it in your head. Turtle.cool. It'd be nice to get some more volume moving across the Snowbridge, and inflows and outflows to the ecosystem on this, very expensive but admittedly epic piece of architecture. That's out. So that's cool. Okay, anything else we wanted to discuss this week, ref-wise? All good. Thanks very much, everybody. Yeah, Lee, what is it?
In general, more volume across bridges would be good, and not foreshadowing anything there.
Yeah, I gotta take a look at that, by the way. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Thanks everybody for joining this week. We are gonna be back on Monday. Let's see. We're done the Web3 Thinkers series. So congratulations to Key Pictures for that epic delivery. Like, come on, those were beautiful and amazing portraits of some of the key people in the ecosystem. And it was a total honor to broadcast those. But those are done. On Space Monkeys, we are gonna have, I think last minute, we're going to switch it out to Bronimir from Origin Trail. Maybe they have something big coming out next week, and maybe this is going to be good for that. So check out that on Sunday. It's a really good episode. We filmed it in a tuk-tuk, stationary one, but in a tuk-tuk nonetheless. And yeah, we'll see you on Monday for another AAG. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.